Okay, at this point you've finished up part 1 and you've gotten to this point with a cool background, and yours might look a little different, and that's okay. Next we're going to add 2 beverages to this picture. We're going to go up to File, Open, and we're going to navigate to the TechEd shared drive just like we did before. Go to your teacher's name and open up the Pics folder. You're going to grab the red cup or the blue cup, it doesn't matter. I'm going to start with the blue cup. It's going to open up a new file. We're going to press Control-0 to make this full screen. Using our magic wand tool, we're going to select the white background. It's going to grab all of the white background because that's what the magic wand tool does, selects the same color. Up top, we're going to change that to inverse. What that does is it changes the marching ants to just select our cup and nothing else. We're going to copy that. And then we're going to go back to Bob Crazy Hair and we're going to paste that.
Aiden Toronto, kindly report to reception. Aiden Toronto, kindly report to reception.
Well, now I can't see it. Why? Well, if we look over here, layer 1 got pasted behind our body. So if I grab our Move tool, I can click and drag, and there's our cup. Using Edit, Free Transform, we're going to change the size of our cup. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger by pulling on the corner. Alright, I want her to be drinking out of this cup, so I'm going to turn it. Just like that. I'm going to move it in so we'll see she's drinking out of it. If your body has arms, you can put the cups in the arms if you want. Now it's behind my people. So I'm going to move my layer up. There's in front of the body. I'll move it up again. Now it's in front of the head. And we can't leave it layer 1. So let's double click that and call it Blue Cup. Enter. Let's repeat that for the red cup. File, Open, red cup. We're going to grab the white background with our magic wand tool. We've selected the white, but we want the cup, so we're going to go to Select Inverse. We're going to copy that. And now we're going to go back to our original drawing and we're going to paste it. Whoa, that's pretty big. Alright, let's not worry about it. We're going to change the size with our Free Transform. So Edit, Free Transform. And we can now shrink that down nice and small so it makes a little more sense with our image. Okay, I'm going to put this down here at her feet. I'll make it a little smaller so it's not the size of a fire hydrant. And double click to set that. Can't leave it called layer 1. Let's double click layer 1 and call that red cup. At this point, it's a good opportunity to pause the video and maneuver your beverages into an area that you like. Alright, next up, we're going to play with the background and really make it sparkle. So let's make a new layer. This is going to be our background. Alright, it's going to be our background layer. We're going to call this, how about we call it our border? We're going to call this our border. Alright, border. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the selection tool, click and hold, and we're going to pick the elliptical marquee. Click and hold, and we're going to pick elliptical marquee right here. Click and hold, elliptical marquee. We're going to put an ellipse or a circle around our whole body. Right. If you don't like where it is, you can move it around. Right. So if you clicked and it ended up over here, it's okay. Just click and move it around. If it's the wrong size, you have to redraw it. So we're just going to redraw a little bigger. Right. And I'll just move it around a little bit. So try to get your marching ants around the whole image. We're going to play with this selection up top under Select. We're going to go to Modify. All right, and we're going to make a border. It's going to create 2 sets of marching ants. It wants to know how many pixels wide do you want to make this. Well, our image is pretty big, so let's pick a big number of like 30 or 40 or 50. You get to choose. And hit OK. And see, now you have a border. I want you to pick a color that's not going to blend in with your background. So I won't use a blue or a yellow. So I'm going to click on my color chip right here. How about a red for me? Or a pink. You can pick any color you want. Move this slider up and down. And then you can pick a hue by dragging this around here. And that's your color. All right, again, move this up and down to a color zone you like. And then pick how bright or dark you want it. Hit OK. And now our chip is that color. I'm going to use my paint bucket to fill this. If we click on our gradient tool right here, you can choose paint bucket. And then if I click, it's in the border layer, if I click inside of my selection, it'll paint it that color. Whoa. And we're going to go to select, deselect. Alright. Now I want to get rid of the gradient behind the person, so I'm going to grab a different color. Again, I don't care what color you choose. Let's go with more of like a red. And I can just click inside of this circle, make sure you're on your border layer. Inside the border layer, click on this circle, it's going to fill the inside with that color. Now because the border layer is on the top, it hides everything under it. So we're going to move the layer down. And each time you move it down, you'll see one new thing show up. And we're going to put it right here. If you go too far, it ends up behind the gradient layer and you can't see it. So we'll move that border layer back up. Okay? Now you have two colors. Look at that. Alright? Now again, we're just playing, so like right here, we're not going to worry about that. But there is a way to fix that in the future. And finally, we're going to add some text to this. To do that, we're going to click on our text tool right here, letter T. Alright, before you type, it'll come out microscopic if you don't do this. Change the size up top. We have our font, if you want to do regular or bold, and here we have our size. Pick the biggest you can. You can even type in something bigger, like 100. Okay, and I'm just going to click right here, and I want you to type in your name and Slurpee or whatever you want. So Corbett Slurpee. How about we do Corbett's Slurpee with an apostrophe. Corbett Slurpee. And you can move that around if you want. Alright. Let's move your cursor back up to the text so it becomes the highlight tool like I have right here. And just like you're in Word, we're going to click and drag and select all of this. Once you select it, you can type in a bigger size if you don't like your size. So I could put in like a 120. You could change the font to something else if you don't like that. But most importantly, you could do the color. So if you don't like it, if I don't like it the red color, I could change it to black or whatever color I want, white. I do kind of like the red though. Maybe we'll just leave it nice dark red. And more importantly, we're going to use this warp tool right here. In order to use that, again, make sure it's selected, and then click on this T with a line under it for warped text, and you will get this box. So under Style, choose something. Now, I want to try and make this text bend around our border, and that should be your goal. Try to make it bend around the border, so I'm going to pick an arc. Whoa, check that out. And I can move this around. That looks pretty good, but by dragging these little sliders, you can control how much bend it has, or how big or wide one end is over the other. Alright, or same thing with vertical. I don't know what the heck that was. Alright, and you can try different ones. You could do a bridged one, whatever you want. This would be if you had multiple lines of text, it would do that. You could do a wave. Alright, we'll play more with those later. Whoa. Alright, so I'm going to actually stretch out one side a little more than the other. Corbett Slurpee and hit OK. Here we go. And if you want, this is the text layer right here. You can actually move this around a little bit if you didn't like where it was. Alright, and this is all you need to get full credit. Make sure you do a file save, and you show your teacher the work that you did.